Today, we are excited to welcome Akil Hameed. Akil brings nearly 20 years of experience in the real estate industry. As founder and chief executive officer of FASS Real Estate Services, Akil has progressively grown the company, which currently manages more than 80 million in real estate, consisting of commercial, retail, office, mixed use, and residential multifamily properties in Northeast Ohio and its surrounding suburbs. In 2021, FAST launched their development firm, where today they team up with local and out of state developers to bring mid sized development projects to Northeast Ohio. Akil began to handle the day to day operations of the historic Shaker Square in 2023, where he manages nearly 60 plus merchants and businesses and oversees a nearly $3 million operating budget. Some other notable accomplishments: he is a recognized court appointed receiver in the state of Ohio, where he has serviced over 500,000 square feet of assets under county court appointed orders. And he is a graduate of Leadership Cleveland class of 2023, the 2023 past president of the Akron Cleveland Association of Realtors, a graduate of the 2024 Equitable Developers Initiative, and he serves as the 2025 National Association of Realtors Diversity Committee Chair. Please welcome Akil.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Rachel. That was an awesome introduction, and I didn't know if you were going to read it all, so I just gave you a few things. But I appreciate it, and thank you to the Leadership Center, executive staff there. I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm going to share my screen today, and we'll jump right in so that we can get this information moving. Okay, we're good. All right. So my name again is Akil Hameed. I serve as the founder and chief operating officer at FASS Real Estate Services. And today I'm going to jump in and give you a little bit of updates on where we are going, how we got there here at Shaker Square. So let me slide this over just a little bit, and here we go. So just a little information about Shaker Square. It's a 168,000 square foot shopping center comprised of 4 buildings. It's a home of a multi-story mixed-use retail space that directly supports about 150 jobs in the local area. It's located at the intersection of Shaker Boulevard, Southmoreland, with the rapid transit running through the center that does connect to downtown Cleveland. Again, as you heard, we have about 60 plus businesses, merchants that operate out of the space. And the Shaker Square was built in 1929 and today is one of the oldest shopping centers in the country. In August of 22, Cleveland Neighborhood Progress, its subsidiary New Village Corporation, Burton Bell Car Development, Inc., purchased Shaker Square prior to it going into foreclosure. And since then, our team of those listed above, we have been meeting with merchants and doing repairs, completing a phased plan and assessments of improvements to the property. We rolled out what we call a 3-phase stabilization plan. And today I'm going to touch on a little bit of each one of those phases. So in phase 1, we looked at site control to stop the foreclosure, ensure Shaker Square is in a safe space. It's in local hands and obviously under new property management. In phase 2, we focused on the needed improvements at the square. So invest in the needed repairs, focus on leasing the empty storefronts, and then activating the green space with community-focused programming. And then phase 3, we will touch on the well thought out community plan that we recently launched on the 23rd of this past month. And it will talk about a little bit of the long-term transition of the new ownership possibilities, and once stabilized, identify an experienced local developer to carry out the community vision. So in phase 1, as we discussed, it was about putting a team together. And so Cleveland Neighborhood Progress and Burton Bell Car and the New Village Corporation, they teamed up to purchase the square. So Tanya Maness, Brianna Perry, and Joy Johnson were and are the current owners and represent the ownership team. They engaged Terry Hamilton Brown, which many of you on this call know, She served as our initial consultant on the project and helped us move the project along, you know, very far in the process until she moved on to a different assignment. And then, of course, they hired my firm, FASS Real Estate, as the broker and leasing for property management for the project. And then Josh Herman, who is the principal at Venedici, as the construction manager. So under management and leasing, we were hired as the full-time manager in August of 23, 1 year after the acquisition. And then prior to that, we were only serving as the leasing brokers of the project. So once we came on in 23, we had to staff up full time. So we hired 2 full-time maintenance staff. We hired some assistant managers. So Stacy Bideman and Neil Later, who work daily in the property management area. We engaged our bookkeeping and accountant firm. So CLE Consulting with Meltree Sharp, and then 2 of our brokers that work on leasing space, Mike Mendoza and Najee Kelly. So that's our team at FASS that are operating on a daily basis at the property. So this is just a list of some things. It's not an exhaustive list, but just to give you kind of a little bit of idea of what my responsibilities are at Shaker Square. So we are responsible to collect all rents for businesses and merchants. We track all of those in a Yardi system, which is a very sophisticated property management software. We engage all merchants and tenants for maintenance issues that they have. They have really 24-hour maintenance services, so they can call in, they can input those on through their back office portal, and then we're responsible to coordinate those with vendors and maintenance. We have to develop the annual budget. We are operating on a June fiscal start year budget, and so each year we have to kind of look at where we are, where we're going, and then get that budget approved with ownership, and then that has to go through their board for approval. Of course, we have to do monthly reporting, and so that goes into your profit and loss, and then all the occupancy, vacancy reports, etc. We deal with all turnover and build out. So when tenants are moving in and out, we have to coordinate that to ensure a timely turn and to make sure that we get contractors in that can make those needed repairs. Again, accounts payables, we're responsible to pay all the bills, leasing vacancies. We have owner meetings every Wednesday, so it is something that is on my calendar and our team, and we're regularly meeting with owners to stay abreast of what's going on at the property. We work with all the event coordinators and special programming, holiday events, different things like that. We are responsible to do all of that coordination. We have asset management meetings quarterly with the city to discuss the property, where we are, and just making sure that because they're our fiscal agent, that we are being good stewards of the money that they have provided. And then again, we have to manage all tenant retention and then contract negotiation. So anything from snow plowing to landscaping, we have to get bids. We always try to look for MBE, FBE contractors when servicing the property as well. So in phase 1, we did a capital needs assessment. We had $5 million as a initial budget to work with. And so from that capital needs assessment, some of the things that came out of that was the enhancement of lighting. We talked about new security cameras, landscaping, tree maintenance, parking lot pavement, HVAC, brickwork, roofs, etc. So those are all things that came out of the capital needs assessment, and we started to prioritize that. And you'll see on the next slide, we look at in phase 2, as we finished the capital needs assessment, we developed a 5-year budget, and that 5-year budget laid out how those funds would be spent and then what each year would look like. And so we had a 5-year plan, and again, around 5 million, roughly about 5 million was spent in 2023. This slide will show you a little bit of the sources that were garnered to secure and to utilize for the needed repairs at the property. And out of the gate, there was about a $17.2 million raise. I'll show you a couple of slides. So as we kind of go through looking at just needed repairs, things that we were going to be upgrading, our cameras, again, rooftop units, electrical, data, again, refacing, like paint jobs and making sure that the columns and different things like that at the storefronts were intact. We also figured in phase two that we really needed to focus on a rebrand. And so the new logo over to the right of your screen shows you the Shaker Square new logo that really pulls out the rich history of Shaker Square with the establishing of the property in 1929. Over to your left, you'll see a QR code. If you want to scan that, that will allow you to be added to our email list and have access to our website. We launched shakersquare.com, and then throughout, the branding has been consistent for our local summer events. We had Summer on the Square this year, as well as we've had several different other events that you would see consistent marketing and branding throughout. Just a few pictures from our Summer on the Square events. We had the Cleveland sign that was brought out. That's one of the owners, Brianna, and her daughter at one of the summer events. So it's been a nice events that we've had. And then in phase three, we also, in phase two, we also were responsible for focusing on retention and new beginnings for the businesses that are there and or to come to the square. And so uh, right out the gate, our job was to focus on securing tenants that were there, those that wanted to stay. We needed to have direct conversations with them, possibly renegotiate leases. And so we were able to bring Zanzibar's former owner, Akil Africa, repurchase Zanzibar, and he did a rebranding and launch of that. And so that restaurant is up and thriving. Atlas Cinema, they made a long-term commitment at the square. Of course, CVS is in a long-term lease. One exciting addition that we're excited about is that Dave's will be doing a 700,000 plus remodel of their store to improve customer experience. And that was negotiated with the myself, with the owners, and they'll be utilizing some city funds on a matched dollar base so that they could bring a better customer experience to all of you. We also began doing new leases. So Cameron Con Photography was a new lease early on. She took the space where T-Mobile was. We are super excited coming into next month. Cafe Indigo, which is our long, much needed third space at Shaker Square, will open. This is going to be operated and powered by Unbar, which is just right around the corner on Larchmere. And Melissa Hirsch Garrett is the principal there. I've had a long-standing relationship with Melissa. We were her broker for Unbar, and we had a conversation about Shaker Square, and it just fit. And so we're excited. You see a picture there. That is the current view of the inside of the new space, and we're looking forward to her activating Quad A at Shaker Square next month. Right across the street in the former Balaton space is Koyakan Taqueria and Brew. They are slated to open within the next 45 to 60 days. This is a fast casual, Chipotle style taqueria. And then on one side, you can walk in, order your food, you can maybe sit or you can leave. And then the other side, because the owners are the former owners of Luchitas, which used to be on Shaker Square, they are offering a full sit down Mexican restaurant and brewery on the other side of this. And so we are excited to bring both Cafe Indigo and Koyakan to Shaker Square. So as we go into phase three, which is where we are today, and we look at the vision, a 1 year visioning process got underway. The owners hired a company called Agency, which is a consulting firm out of Boston, that culminated with a final presentation that we just had on January 23rd. And we investigated marketplace strategies and public realm designs that support surrounding businesses and position Shaker Square as a regional destination and local hub. Shaker Square's vision plan laid out a blueprint for revitalizing Shaker Square, honoring its rich history while ensuring relevance for future generations. Some of the goals of the vision plan were to enhance retail mix, programming, public space to create vibrant, safe, and welcoming community hubs. And then we did this through a very large community engagement process that was very extensive outreach through surveys, pop-up events, workshops to capture diverse stakeholders' input. And so what rolled out of that engagement process is this. This is what came out of that. And if you were at the event last week, you learned that a new era for a Cleveland Classic. And we have three pillars: inviting, inspiring, and timeless. So Shaker Square, a cherished Cleveland landmark, is poised to reclaim its former success and embark on a new era of growth by maintaining its historic charm and embracing modern retail practices, local entrepreneurship, and creativity. And so in those three pillars, inviting, Shaker Square is a vital transportation hub, popular destination in Cleveland, known for its walkability and events, but it faces challenges from historical disinvestment and aims to create an equitable future for its surrounding neighborhoods. We want to be inspiring. As commercial areas like Shaker Square evolve, they must adapt to new lifestyles by offering unique experiences, quality retail choices, and culturally resonate offerings to remain competitive. And of course, being built in 29, we're timeless. And so Shaker Square, with its historic charm, architectural beauty, and active community involvement, is a beloved Cleveland landmark poised to build on its legacy and continue thriving into the future. This is what the property can potentially look like. And if you notice up at the top left, we want to unlock some possible on-site housing opportunities. We want to improve the public space as you walk around the four quads, making it more customer and pedestrian friendly. We want everyday activity on the green space. And so we're looking at ways to activate it with park benches, possible stages, or like a small amphitheater. We want to enhance the parking, provide gateway signage, and create a better pedestrian friendly access from the retail spaces onto the green space. And all of this, is a goal that we have that was presented through our vision plan. This just gives you, this was our flyer for our vision plan event that was held last week at Atlas Cinema. And if you go to our website, you can pull down the full vision plan. There's a presentation there, and then also the full plan for your review. So future investments, public space enhancements. We want to redesign paths, improve parking, better connection to surrounding neighborhoods. We have Larchmere, you have Buckeye neighborhoods. We want all of those to be interconnected with Shaker Square being as the central hub. Retail and housing. This is something that, would potentially be new, but focus on supporting local businesses, introducing new housing units, and creating a balanced mix of retail and services. The community and cultural programming is super vital. There's a lot of stakeholders in our community here around Shaker Square, so events and activities are important. Emphasis, on hosting events to attract visitors and foster community engagement. Youth are important and the arts, so integration of youth-friendly design ideas, collaboration with local artists for murals and installations. And then we want to be a cultural hub. So strengthening connections with nearby cultural partners and promoting local entrepreneurship. So the strategic goals and recommendations that came out of the plan were the retail diversity. So sustaining a diverse mix of retailers, the ones that we have, but figuring out how we can support small businesses through entrepreneurship and then bringing new businesses to the square. The public realm, as I showed on the former slide, so enhanced safety, connectivity, accessibility with improved lighting, signage, and pedestrian-friendly features. And then the big one is looking at ways to bring housing development to support the property. So introduce well-designed market rate housing to stabilize existing multifamily housing options in the area. And then the long-term vision and sustainability of the property, we have not gotten there yet, but these are some options for different ownership models. So to explore a stabilization-based sale, maybe look at a vision-based sale, looking at the way that the plan was presented, and then maybe looking at owners that may be interested in it from that perspective. A long-term partnership, and that's to ensure sustainable development. And then we want to look at the funding opportunities to be able to do some of this. So leveraging taxing incremental financing, a TIF, or maybe park conservancy, and then partnerships with developers. And as we do a future outlook, we have a commitment to preserving Shaker Square's history while fostering a vibrant, inclusive, and economic resilient community. So as we end today, I want to leave this with you. And how can you help? How can you help our ownership team? How can you help the community at large? And one is first by spreading the word about the great work that we're doing. You heard this presentation today. Maybe you attended the local event that was on the 23rd, or you can even read our vision plan on shakersquare.com website. But sharing this information out to your friends and family and business colleagues would be great. The other would be to refer a business that is looking to be a part of our community. You may have heard that, Edwin's as well is going to be leaving Shaker Square. Right now, before he leaves, we're at about an 87% occupancy. That only gives us like one retail space available on the ground floor. And then the rest of the vacancies are in our office spaces. But as Edwin's as they leave Shaker Square, we will have two beautiful restaurants that we are seeking new opportunities to bring some different culture and experiences to the square. So refer a business to us. That would be great. And then number three would be come patronize the existing businesses. Uh, to be in business, you need to have customers, and it's super vital. If you are and have been at the square, you understand that we have some very long-standing businesses that have been there for years, and there's great services and great food options there. And we look forward to you and the community helping us reach our goals. So I want to thank you today. I love seeing you, and I appreciate the time we spent. Thank you.
Akil, thank you so much for sharing all of the work that you and your team are doing. Such an important development to continue to move forward. Um, Talk about a little bit the response to the rebrand. How has the community, how have those who are leasing space there responded to the rebrand of Shaker Square?
Yeah, so I think we have we have a lot of support. Mainly the city of Cleveland is behind us. This is part of Mayor Bibb's Southeast Side initiatives, and so we are fully supported from the city of Cleveland. We even have support from the city of Shaker Heights. Obviously, they're a neighboring community. And then there's a myriad of stakeholders, the Moreland Group, uh, that, support all the things that are going on. Moreland Courts, they have a lot of stakeholders, Buckeye community. And so we are regularly talking. I want to thank Councilwoman Gray. She is such a huge supporter. She is out regularly helping and pushing the word. And so I think as we continue the work that we're doing, meaning you on this call and the community at large, will start to see much traction at Shaker Square.
There's been so much interest in this development, and kind of there's news articles and reports kind of continuing to keep the community up to date on what's happening, and a lot of interest in different viewpoints. How do you work to balance all of those viewpoints as you make decisions about the management and the development of the area?
Absolutely. So, as I shared in the presentation, there was an RFP that came out maybe a little over a year ago for a consulting company to come in to help really cast the vision. So we were very careful in this initial year and a half before we had this plan, to really focus on the core of Shaker Square. So trying to retain tenants, um, dealing with maintenance issues. That was our main focus. We didn't really want to start casting vision because um, through that RFP, we were able to land on agency. Agency did a full inclusive community engagement process. So you had people there from Buckeye community, Larchmere, you had the RTA, you had the city of Shaker Heights, you had ownership, you had merchants. And this is the first time that in a community engagement process for Shaker Square specifically, that all those stakeholders came together, really so that one voice could be shared, heard, and then they captured all that information to roll out the plan that we have. And so without having a consultant like agency, I don't think we would have really been able to get where we are today, but they were super helpful in the process for sure.
As you think about the vision and the steps to come in reaching some of those goals, what are some challenges that you anticipate, and how are you looking to overcome them?
Yeah, so obviously, in real estate development, biggest challenge is always financing, right? And how do you pencil and make the numbers work? So we do a myriad of different things. The ownership team has a full engagement around fundraising, and so if you've come through Shaker Square during the holiday season and you saw our beautiful lights that were put up this year by Artistic Design. That was through fundraising efforts, right? And so we are looking at this opportunity from a public-private standpoint, and we are, very creative in how we approach it. But ultimately, financing is probably going to be the biggest thing. How can we actually pay for this moving forward?
And Akil, we have time for one more question. As you look at all that's happening right now at Shaker Square and what's to come, what are you most excited for?
Well, I am born and raised in city of well, I'm raised in city of Shaker Heights. Let me say that. And my great grandmother would take me to Shaker Square regularly. We would jump on the rapid, go down, and I just remember the good old days of Shaker Square, right? And so I am most excited about being a part of this transformational opportunity to really reshape and reform a project and a property that has so much history to so many people, but bringing it back in a way that will resonate with what's current today, while making sure that we restore very important parts of our past. And so I'm just super excited about that. And I think that because many of you called on today, you too probably are very excited. And so we thank you all for being here. Rachel, thank you. Thanks to Leadership Center. And we look forward to seeing many of you all at Shaker Square soon.